Hello and welcome. This is Alchemistexe, and today I'm going to be taking a look at Noah. I got a comment last week about her being the best fire mage, and since my Noah was not totally caught up, not enlightened at all, I wanted to see what she was made of, because she's got this memento you can get for free, and just taking a look at it, I thought, oh, this is a pretty sweet improvement, so I went and enlightened her, and ran her in maps where it made sense to use fire magic. And yeah, I have to say, I think she is one of the best fire magic units. Mostly because she's like really free to play friendly. Just I would call her a must have unit because there's not really a reason not like there's not going to cost you much aside from some time, just generic enlightenment resources. The only real downside is that her job plus is from a limited time event that is seasonal, which means you can't event archive it and you just kind of have to wait for it to rerun. And that event is the Chocolate Magic Valentine event. So if you already farmed it out, then you're totally good. And all you need is her gates and her free memento and especially the VCR from that free memento in your set. If you don't have her job plus, then you'll have to wait for the next time Valentine events rerun. And I definitely recommend whenever they're in season, if you don't have any job pluses for characters, then to always prioritize those, because if it's not in the event archives, you're at the mercy of reruns. But overall, I think Noah is an excellent fire mage because she's got tons of on-element stuff. She's got some big AoEs. She can do a little bit of status effects for whenever that's applicable. And then she's also got a little bit of versatility too, which I'll go over more when we look at her on the unit screen. And then there's also a few other things that make her just really nice to have. Like she's a Lustberg unit, so she can benefit from Rebecca's leader skill. She works really well with like Emma and Pamela, who are both really good units to have as well. So I just think she's just a unit that's just too good to pass up, which is kind of funny because if you like look at her and her job synergy, it looks like it wouldn't be that great. But her job plus is so good and her enlightenment is so good that more than makes up for it. So yeah, I definitely think everyone should get Noah. And then as an added bonus, you can get her in 150 shards for free for another week via the challenge board. So even if you can't get the job plus, you can at least get the unit part taken care of. All right, with that, let's go take a look at Noah on the status screen. Okay, here we are at the status screen. So in general, I would say that the best job for her is going to be Magical Honor Student, the job plus of Battle Mage. Almost any situation, that's going to be the best, unless you need Veiling. In that case, you could run her as a Professor. But overall, Battle Mage job plus for sure. As far as abilities go, you've got a few options. I'd say most of it is going to come from the Battle Mage kit. But if you wanted to go on, say, an insane poisoning spree and the 5 charges of the poison attack on her main kit wasn't enough for you, and say you needed some supplemental healing, the basic Professor could be useful in that sense. For reactives, I recommend her unique one that creates a shield around her and allies that will reduce physical damage, as opposed to running Reflection, which is the chance of reducing physical damage. So either way, she's anti-physical damage in that sense. I would say her Gate 2 definitely must have. It's on Sorcery Pair. You would be running Sorcery Pair anyway, so definitely 100% have that. And then for the other passive, if you want to do more damage with Poison, I would do Poison Knowledge. Or you could run Shell Charge if you need her to cast faster, like say it makes the difference in getting a spell off before an enemy turn on a map, something like that. Or if you want the most agility possible, then you would want Spirit of the Sea God. But it's not a huge difference. So depending on what you're up against, I think either Shell Charge or Poison Knowledge is the best. But yeah, let's take a look at gears and mementos. So obviously the main memento is going to be this new one that you can get for free from the event. And then if you have her 6 maxed and you want to throw something on the sub slot, I'd recommend the Emma memento because she's in that group skill as well. Unless you're also running Emma, then you probably just want to keep it on her. Otherwise, just base Emma attacker, base agility is always good. For gears, you definitely want the VCR from the new Memento, and luckily you can just run the EX and get the alchemic boundary increased every single time, so you can have that VCR in no time. That event is running for another week, so good there. Don't have to hurry too much. I would also recommend either regen armor or just something with a ton of HP, but I like the regen armor because she has a pretty high amount of HP and she'll regen a bit for turn, so she doesn't have to worry about surviving. She can focus more on doing damage, though she does have the ability to drain back health. So if you need regen armor on another unit, then she could survive without it. And then finally, I just put something on with agility and modify M attack power. Just, HP, M attack modifier, fire exploit, or wind exploit, I guess. That kind of thing is what she's going to want. And then for her enlightenment, definitely gate 2. I would get that before anything else, just because it takes an already good passive and makes it better. Adding agility onto it and then adding the M attack value to be a little higher. And then gate 5 is pretty good as well, in that it improves her single target poison attack, gives it slightly better modifier and more range. So definitely good. That's a very, very nice attack. Although I definitely would prioritize 2 above 5. And then after that, you might just want to go for general stats. The more M attack and agility and HP you can get on her, the merrier. So yeah, that is about it for her overall kit. I just think she's an excellent unit that is so easy to get all the stuff, and none of it is really predicated on any limited gacha stuff, which is always nice. It just doesn't happen all that often. I don't really want to do another showcase because I already did that in the intro, but I did want to point out a couple of things. She's got some off-element magic that's insta-cast. If you know you're not going to be able to get a skill off in time, you can do that with either aerial move or aerial jump. You can also do Luminous Chant before, and that will help. But it only helps on one turn, so the Drain Dimension combo is not going to really be as impactful in that sense. But if you're getting her M attack from another source, like say Pamela, then Luminous Chant before nuking with either Intersecting Blowing Flame or Rainbow Colored Magical Flame could be effective in reducing that charge time. And then another thing I wanted to point out is that aside from the Drain Dimension buff, you can definitely get away with overclock casting on her, because if you're using Pamela's buff, that's going to last for 4 turns. So if you need to do an overclock cast to get an Intersecting Blowing Flame on a big group of enemies, it can totally work because you'll have multiple turns to work with and you don't have to worry about the 1 duration turn buff wearing off, when you're doing the overclock cast. And then in terms of the sub, it's pretty standard Battle Mage stuff, but I do like the elemental attribute of Flame Dimension because she's already really good at destroying wind units, and this just adds to the kit. So other than that, just very, very straightforward. She does magic damage and she does it well, and she looks cool. So, hard to say no to that. So that is it for this Noah review. I hope all of you go out and get her, and if you already have her, that she's doing good damage for you, and I will see you all next time.